you try to make some claim to humans like us, we always counterattack by telling you to show some proof. Because that's a human move. But I'm fighting with a witch. I'm taking part in a battle with someone who isn't human. And some moves exist that can only be used in a game against a witch. There are cheat moves. And that's what this devil's proof is. Because it's impossible to prove. Let's assume that there's a hidden mansion on Rokkenjima, separate from the Ushiromiya family mansion, and that a woman named Beatrice lives there. In order to prove this, one must find this mansion and actually bring Beatrice out of it. That's called actual proof in the human world. However, if you follow the rules of the devil's proof, you can't deny that she exists, even if there's no proof that she does. Because it's impossible to prove that something doesn't exist. That's right, I'm finally able to turn the tables using this devil's proof, which tormented me so much before. Yeah, but the thing is, Battler, okay? The thing is, you're always like this devil's proof and whatnot. She's got the whole red text thing going. So all she's got to do to fuck you over is just say, there is no mansion, there is no separate mansion on Rokkenjima in red, and all of a sudden you're just like, oh, well, so much for my fucking devil's proof shit. Those guys are always trying to force me to accept the existence of the witch with it. After all, it was physically impossible for me to show any proof that witches don't exist and deny Beato's claims. That's why I kept getting hit with the reckless argument that witches do exist, and was unable to counterattack. And that's why I'll spin the chessboard around right now. If I can't disprove the existence of witches, then that means, if I suggest that 19th human exists, you can't deny that either. In other words, because this problematic and mysterious mistress is craftily hiding herself, it'd be perfectly natural if you never found her no matter how hard you looked. So you can't say that your inability to find this 19th person proves that she doesn't exist. Therefore, it's impossible to deny the 19th person's existence. Beato used the devil's proof to make denying her own existence impossible. But this time it's become my weapon. If we can get away with this argument, then forget just a 19th person. This island could be full of people we don't know about. And even if there were 10 or 100 of them, she still couldn't deny that they existed. In the last game, and the one before that, among the murder scenes that showed up, there were several that were extremely intricate and must have taken a lot of effort to set up. It's really hard to imagine a single culprit setting up all of those. However, if not just a 19th person, but 10 or 100 people were hidden somewhere, that wouldn't be any problem at all. If they all split up the work, they could handle any job in a short period of time. Of course, doubts will naturally arise as to whether a large group of people like that could sneak around the mansion without being noticed. But those are all settled by the devil's proof. You can't deny that even 100 people were there just because they weren't seen or noticed. Even though I'm saying it myself, it's such a stupid argument that it makes me want to throw up. However, because it's such a dirty move, it's a perfect one to use against a witch. Well, that's just my imagination. But what if about 100 suspicious men wearing goat masks were hiding in the shadows? Oh. Something like that's worse than laughable. Almost like they were cockroaches. If you see one, it means there's 100 more hiding somewhere.
まあ、へりくつまみれの暴論だとは思う。相手が人間だったなら、寝言を言うなと怒鳴られるところだろうよ。だが、俺の相手は、そして、俺たちがやってるのはそういう勝負なんだろう。どんな暴論であろうとも、人間で説明をつけ、魔女を否定する。とにかく、この一手で俺は二度と。
なるほど、前回の失敗を学ばれているのですね。良いことですよ。さすがに3度もゲームを重ねると容量が良くなるものです。
third time's charm and all that.
まずは自陣の守りを実に堅実な処方です。なかなかの妙手と思いますよ。
まあ、19人目の人物、マスターキーの本数などのように何人人間を増やしてもクリアできないトリックも残ってる。しかしとりあえずの初手としては悪くないはずだ。
バトラ様の切り札、19人目の人物という大駒、証拠はあるのかとの私の一手に良い攻防です。お嬢様のおられないところで勝手に手を進めてしまうのは申し訳ないのですが、私も少し 面白くなってきてしまったところです。お嬢様に代わり、さらに一手進めさせていただきましょうか。
来いよ、魔女だろうと悪魔だろうと相手に不足はね。
Fuck yeah, everyone wants to challenge. Let's turn this chess match into Chinese checkers where there's like there's 6 different opponents going at it. Come on, let's go.
バトラ様の刺された一手、これは私ども悪魔のお箱でございますが、ヘンペルのカラスという一手はご存知
Of
ですか？
course I don't know what the fuck Hempel's Raven is.
ヘンペルのカラス、何の話だ。
No. Come on, I was having a nice conversation with good old Ronove there. Just then, that enraging laugh I've heard so many times started echoing. The room was filled with dazzling golden butterflies, and in the center of that whirlwind, the golden witch appeared.
これはお嬢さん、おはようございます。
わらわのいないところで何やら面白そうなことをしていると思えば、ヘンペルのカラスか。なんとも笑える懐かしい一手よ。よもやバトラに披露する日が来ようとはな。それは悪魔の証明に並ぶ古典的一手だ。ロノウェイ、それはわらわが指す一手ぞ。わらわの楽しみを減らしてくれるな。
出やがったな、ゲラゲラ魔女め。相変わらず下品に笑いやがって。こいつもお前のこと笑い方に品がねえって陰口言ってたぜ。
Yeah, throw him under the bus. Let him know we ain't homies.
まあ
それは本当か？
めっそうもな。心より尊敬申し上げているお嬢さん、この私めがどうしてそのような。
よくもシャーシャーとお前とは仲良くなれそうにないぜ。
まあよい、話を戻そう。ヘンペルのカラスは実証を待遇的に行ってみせる。
Can you say that with words I understand? I don't know what the fuck a contrapositive is. I mean, using context clues I can possibly understand, but
つまりこういう。
yes, in other words, yes. Break it down in other words.
カラスが黒い
Explain
こ
it
と
to
を
the
証明
dumbasses,
するに
please.
はどうすればいい？
Show a raven?
あ、何の話だ。カラスが黒いことを証明って、カラスを捕まえてきて色が黒いことを確認すりゃいいだけの。
そのとカラスイコール黒いを証明すればいい。ということは黒くない鳥イコールカラスではないを証明しても同じ論法になるのがわかるかな。世界中のカラスでない鳥をすべて調べ、それは結果的に故に黒い鳥はカラスで、これを待遇論法という。
What? That argument doesn't work though. Because there are other birds that are black that aren't ravens. Why is it then called Hempel's Raven if your own example doesn't fucking work? I get what she's saying is like, to prove this equals this, you must prove that everything else doesn't equal that. I get what they're saying with the whole argument by contrapositive now. I understand that. But the whole naming system of it doesn't fucking work because there's other birds that aren't black that are not ravens. Like, your argument doesn't work, stupid. Whole Hempel's Raven doesn't work on actual ravens. It's like, to prove that a raven equals black, you must prove that, all other birds... Wait, did I mess it? No. You must examine all birds that are not ravens and prove that none of them are black. You must prove that birds that aren't black equals not ravens. True. If you go throughout the world and examine all birds that are not ravens, prove that none of them are black, then as a result you can claim that therefore black birds aren't ravens. Crows. Crows. Am I an idiot and crows and ravens are the same thing? I don't think they are. The fact that I actually have to Google this now makes me feel really stupid, but fuck you. Are crows and ravens the same? No, they're not. They're two separate. They're separate. I knew it. They're separate. Also, isn't there just a type of bird that's just called a fucking blackbird? The common blackbird. Yeah. Yeah, common blackbird. You're fucking This irritates me so much. It's something so insignificant, but it irritates me so much. The fact that this move of hers is based around, ravens being black, so therefore you have to prove that there are no other birds that are black that aren't ravens. But crows and blackbirds exist, and I'm sure there's other species of birds that are also black. Your fucking move is stupid. I've wasted so much time on this point, I don't care. This is irritating. The basis of this move isn't difficult. What's difficult is understanding why it's named after fucking ravens. I mean, I'm not that lost. I get what she's saying, but what she's saying is bullshit.
バトラ様、こういう例え話はいかがでしょう。
Oh, please tell me you have a better example, Runaway.
2つの箱があり、片方は当たりでクッキーが入っているといたします。
Yes.
もちろん、もう片方は外れで空っぽです。
Okay, now see, that I already see where he's going with this. How do you prove which box has the cookie in it? By proving which box is empty. Okay. Okay. That's a much fucking better example than her stupid fucking raven bullshit. I already see where he's going with this. And that, okay. That makes sense. So if you're looking at the two boxes, listen, if the boxes are closed, you can't prove which one has the cookie in it. You can't prove it. Alright, you're looking at that, it's like, but if I can prove that this one here is empty, then that proves that I know that that one is the one. For example, here are two boxes. Where one has a cookie inside, it means you win, while the other is empty, means you lose. At this moment, it has a cookie inside equals you win, which implies that you do not win equals it has no cookie inside. When such a relationship exists, the latter is called the counterpositive. Yes. If A then B is true, then if not B, then not A is also true.
そりゃ当然だろう。もし選んだ方が外れだったなら、もう片方は自動的に当たりってことになる。つまり、箱を適当に選び、最初の一手でどっちの箱にクッキーが入っているか特定できるわけだ。
Exactly. That makes sense.
その通り。
Makes way more sense than your bullshit raven analogy. Why don't we call it Hempel's box? Let's talk about some box, alright? I know Schrodinger already got his box going, but let's talk about Hempel. Fuck your ravens, man. Get some box. We need you a box, my guy. Because your raven example ain't shit. It don't work.
開けた箱にクッキーが入っていたなら、 悪魔の証明を満たす。この箱は当たりイコールこの箱にはクッキーが入っている。おまさしかし開けた箱が空っぽだったな。この箱にクッキーが入っていないイコールこの箱は当たり。そしてそれは箱が2つしかないことを前提。もう片方の箱が自動的に当たりであることを対偶的に示している。
ま、なんとなく理屈は分かったぜ。毒を制するには毒、へりくつにはへりくつってわけだ。それで俺の島には19人目の人間が隠れているに18人全員にアリバイがあってもそれは魔女を認めることにはならないをどう切り返してくれるってんだ。
Because there's a 90, I won't have to accept witches. So the opposite of that would be, yeah, I'm not, let her talk.
よかろう。わらわの手は教え。まずそなた18人の中に犯人はいないイコールならば犯人は19人目としている。
Okay, so you say that the culprit is not among the 18 means that the culprit is the 19th person. So if she can prove that the culprit is among the 18, then that would prove that the culprit is... Wait. Well, duh. So either way you have to prove one or the other.
ならば待遇としてこうなるわけだ。つまり犯人は19人目ではないイコールならば18人の中に犯人がいる。
Okay.
はあ？なんだと？それはどういう意味だ？
Wait, let me read that back. Duh. They seem like very duh statements. Well, I mean, that's the whole thing, right? The culprit is not among the 18, therefore the culprit is the 19th person. So she wants to prove the culprit is not a 19th person, therefore the culprit is one of the 18. Okay.
そなたの指し手を逆っそう難しい話で
How? My brain hurts, ma'am.
ロノウェ説明
Yes,
せ。
Ronove, please explain to me.
そなたのさっきのクッキーの箱の例えは
Yes, more
バカ
box
にわかりや
analogies.
すいらしい。
Give me more box, Ronove. Love
それでは
box.
僭越ながら先ほどの例え話でもう一度ご説
Yeah,
明
yeah.
させていただき
Go
ます。
deeper in the box, Ronove. Allow me to repeat my earlier story about two treasure boxes, one of which has a cookie in it. In this situation, you have an 18-person box and a 19th-person box. So the cookie represents the culprit. Beatrice-sama, let's say you open the 18-person box. Because the cookie is not there, you have paradoxically proven that therefore the cookie is in the 19th-person box. That lets us make an even more paradoxical claim. In other words, if it was first shown that the 19th person box was empty, it would prove at the same time that the cookie is in the 18th person box. Beatrice-sama played this move in order to avoid having to doubt any of the 18, but it's now been used to prepare an 18-person attack.
なんだと？
わらわが19人目の箱の中身が空っぽであることを先に証明すれば、そなたは自動的に18人の箱の中にクッキー。そなたはそれを逆の言い方で口にしたに過ぎんのだぞ。
つまり俺の自信満々の一手は
そのとそなたの19人目で全てを説明する18人でしか説明できないことを認めざるを得ないリスクを背負っている。
Okay. I see. I fucking don't. My head hurts trying to comprehend all this shit. Hempel's box. I'm not calling it Raven because it's a stupid example. So this is a countering technique. Wait, if I really think about it, this counter is really disadvantageous for me. Well, duh, that's why it's a counter. She's countering my move. Wow, this actually isn't good for me. Amazing. Like, duh. This isn't a cookie we're talking about. If I imagine that the loser treasure chest actually has a bomb in it, it gets even clearer. There aren't just 2 treasure chests, but 18 plus 1 more for the 19th person. If you think of it as a total of 19 boxes, it gets even easier to picture. Okay, 19 boxes. Alright, I'm picturing that. First off, one of the premises of the human culprit theory is that the bomb will definitely be in one of these boxes. They want to place the bomb in the boxes for any of the 18, so I used the devil's proof and created the 19th person box so I could throw the bomb in there. That much was fine. But then Beato struck back. Now if the contents of the 19th person box are empty, that'll automatically mean the bomb's in one of the other 18 boxes. Right. So is she trying to prove that either there isn't a 19th person or that the 19th person didn't do it? I think that's the second one. I think it's the second one is what she's eventually going to try to prove. Is the fact that he says there's a 19th person, you can't prove either way that there isn't. But if she can prove that the 19th person is not this hypothetical 19th person is not the culprit, then he has no choice but to accept it's one of the 18 regardless. Regardless of the existence of a 19th person, he'd have to accept that one of the 18 did it if she can prove that the 19th did not. That whatever crime it was not committed by a 19th person. I think I'm understanding it somewhat. Oh boy. If I can examine what's inside all 18 of those boxes, then as long as I can show that the bomb isn't in any of them, I'll be able to safely show that the 18 are innocent. If they're possible, I'd have nothing to fear. However, in reality, that'll be almost absolutely impossible. The police wouldn't come here in this typhoon. We don't have access to scientific investigations or experts or anything. In short, we can't prove anything decisively. It'll be impossible for me to find any proof other than simply gulping down whatever alibis each of the 18 give. Yes. That means I personally have to prove their innocence, and I have to do it perfectly. Like by staying with them the whole time, never letting them out of my sight for a second. By doing that, I can probably be sure of that person's innocence. Sure that the bomb isn't in their box. However, in practical terms, that'll be impossible, yes. In other words, I'd have to expend an incredible effort just to check the contents of one box. And there are 18 of them. In other words, unless I bound all 18 of them in chains and watch over them, it'll be impossible to prove that all of them have empty boxes. However, Beato only has to open one box, the 19th person box. And show that it's empty to prove that the bomb's in one of the other 18 boxes. Yes. Furthermore, there's no need for her to show which of the 18 boxes has the bomb. Yes. Just like there's no need for you to prove that the 19th person exists, she doesn't have to prove which 18 is the culprit. As long as she can prove that number 19 is definitely not. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Bear with me, everyone. I'm getting it. I've got 18 times more work to do to explain my pet theory than Beatrice does for hers. Yes. Okay. Okay.